Shalom, sister. Shalom, shalom. Call Halayim YAHAWASHI for allowing us to see a new day and giving us another opportunity to be virtuous daughters of Zion. Before I start this video, I first want to say Salakia for my voice. I'm currently under the weather, trying to beat off this cold. I'm sounding a bit congested, so if I sound too low, Salakia for that. But nevertheless, in today's video, we're going to be talking about staying focused on YAHAWAH bahasham YAHAWASHI. And we're solely going to focus on Matthew chapter 14, verses 22 to 32, when YAHAWASHI walked on water and Peter walked on water with him. So without further ado, I'm not going to read the whole passage. I'm going to let y'all read that on your own time, but I'm just going to briefly talk about it because in this video, again, we are focusing slowly on the interaction between Peter and YAHAWASHI when they both walked on water. So in this account, the wind was very strong. Keep that in mind. When you're on a ship, when winds are strong, it causes the water under the ship to toss to and fro, and the ship tosses with the water. Anyways, YAHAWASHI walked on water because when he let his disciples leave first on ship, he stayed behind in wherever they were at with the multitude of people. And he sent them away, and afterwards, he goes on to a mount and pray. And after he's done praying, it's nighttime. So in this moment when he was walking on water, it was 3 a.m. And the disciples, when they see this figure walking on water, mind you, they're in the middle of a windstorm. It's not a pretty sight, so I can understand why they felt the way that they felt when they thought that they were looking at a spirit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is like when you go on a cruise, right? And it's nighttime, like way past nighttime, the sun is already down, and you're in the middle of the ocean. It is pitch black, you know? So I can understand why the disciples were freaked out. So when YAHAWASHI calls out to them and tells them to not be afraid, it is me, Peter then calls out and says, "If it's you, let me walk on water towards you," in verse 28. On Peter's part, that took faith for him to call out to YAHAWASHI. And YAHAWASHI lets Peter walk on water. And Peter was walking on water with YAHAWASHI. You know, he's walking towards him, so he's focused on YAHAWASHI. But then the winds around him, mind you, these are some very strong winds. Peter shifts his focus on the wind, and that caused him to sink. YAHAWASHI saves him and asked him, "Why did you start to doubt?" And that's what we're going to focus on. So when they got back in the ship, the wind had ceased. So why I want to talk about this, why I want to go into this account on why it's so important to focus on YAHAWAH bahasham YAHAWASHI and not the things around us. There are going to be things in our lives that may not be ideal. You may be in the midst of your own affliction. You may be in chaos. Or in a spiritual sense, you may be in a storm. Now, I remember doing a video on the eye of the storm. I'll link that video in the description box. But nevertheless, when you are focused on the storm, it causes you to worry, doubt, and get anxious. All of those emotions are carnal and fleshly. Worry, stress, doubt, and anxiety makes your faith shrink. Now, when I was, typing out this study during the Sabbath, I call these emotions faith reducers. These emotions destroy your faith and henceforth causes you to sink spiritually. Like how Peter, when he shifted his focus off of YAHAWASHI and onto the winds that was around him, that windstorm that was surrounding them, that caused him to sink, that caused his faith to lack. Or what YAHAWASHI said, it caused him to doubt. And I believe in that verse, it says, of little faith. Let me see. Verse 31, where it says, and immediately YAHAWASHI stretched forth his hand and caught him and said unto him, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? So doubt is a faith reducer. Okay? So when you focus on Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi, you find yourself in solitude, peace, anointed, and one with them. And then that's where Peter fell short at the time. He was not one with YAHAWASHI when he was walking on water towards him. Because if he was, he would have sunk. You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah, that's pretty much what I had to say about that account. He started to focus on YAHAWASHI, but he was caught up with the wind, the chaos, the storm, the affliction that surrounded him. So, moral of the story, don't set your eyes on things around you, but keep your focus on Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi. Now, when it came to the study, I was heavily inspired by a video that I watched going into the same account, and I wanted to make my own study when it came to this because I didn't even really think about it like this until I saw that lesson that I watched from one of the elders. And I'm going to link that video as well in my description box as well. But before I end this video, this short video, I have 2 precepts that I want to get out. So the first one is Joshua chapter 1 verse 9. And it says, have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For Yahawah thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest. And then I have the last one, which is 2 Corinthians 5 and 7. For we walk by faith, not by sight. Anyways, that's all that I have for you ladies. I pray that you guys find this video edifying, and I will talk to y'all soon. Shalom.